I want. That's all I want. And all I want now, as we keep the good vibes going on a Friday, is to talk about this trade candidate. Where do I begin? Where do I actually begin? Like I said, we go based on Basketball Reference because they're always the tallest on Basketball Reference. A 6'4" shooting and point guard.
It's a little too large for Monty McNair.
Monty gone now. We don't know. Monty's somewhere. I can't remember. He was in the running somewhere.
He was interviewing
months. We saw that a couple months ago.
He was interviewing for the Hawks job, which I don't think the Hawks hired anyone yet.
Maybe he's still interviewing. 6'4", out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, college, University of Michigan, a Wolverine, drafted with the 28th pick in the 2019 NBA draft by the Golden State Warriors, on his way to take the NBA world by storm. He was betrayed by his own team.
Light the beam! Light it!
You have Tim Kawakami reporting as recently as last week that the drama in Golden State did not start with Draymond Green. It actually started with beloved Golden State Warrior Klay Thompson. And Klay Thompson, this is real, by the way. This is not a bit. You can listen to the podcast during the break. And Klay Thompson was actually on the Tom Tolbert show, by the way. And Klay Thompson did not take kindly to Jordan Poole's swagger and the feeling that he should be in the starting lineup with Klay Thompson coming back from the Achilles. That caused turmoil in the locker room with Jordan Poole essentially saying, look, man, I'm a huge reason we won this thing, which ended in a right hook, some would say good enough for the Sac State boxing team, to Jordan Poole's face, ultimately getting the bag and subsequently shipped off to Washington for CP3, who the Warriors eventually lost for absolutely nothing.
Well, you also forgot the crazy detail that I don't think we talk about enough. Then leaked to TMZ. The video then leaked to TMZ.
And we still don't know who leaked it. The trade candidate for today is a pool party in Sacramento. What better way to get back at your ops, as the kids say, to get back at your ex, than to go to your rival in Sacramento and boogie on him however many times a year?
This is actually a fact.
He played 68 games. He scored 20.5 points per game. He had 3 rebounds per game. He had 4.5 assists per game, passing to bums and 20-year-olds. That's 6 rebounds on a normal team. Or 6 assists on a normal team.
You put some respect on JT Thor. They beat the Kings.
That's all.
Those bums and 20-year-olds.
And Jordan Poole got benched. They benched all the starters in the fourth quarter
and still won.
We forget about that. Honestly, we will spend some time.
That's what the pool party shirt was from.
That's right.
We had to wear. You chickened out. I had to wear the pool party shirt because the Wizards beat the Sacramento Kings with Jordan Poole and a bunch of 20-year-olds.
43% from the field, 37% from 3. We know he can shoot the rock. 88% from free throw. We've seen that as high as 90 throughout his career. Jordan Poole he's right in the middle of my 24 to 26. What are we doing? Age range. He's 25 years old. He's actually about to turn 26 in a couple weeks or so. So remember that for celebrity birthdays. He's about to turn 26 for his career, 412 games, 16.8 points per game, 2.7 rebounds per game, 3.8 assists per game, 42% from the field, 34% from 3, 87% from free throw. We know what Jordan Poole can do. We know he's going to shoot the basketball. Looking at what he's done in his career, that championship season in 2022, he scored 18.5 points per game. 18.5 points per game. And then 2023, he's at 20 points per game, 17.4 points per game in 2023, 2024. That was his first season with the Washington Wizards. And then last season, 20.5, the most in his career, just by 0.1. In 2023, he was at 0.4. So Jordan Poole, Kyle, is the trade candidate for today. He's 25 years old. He's had a crazy, crazy career. Just really does. And this is what we're talking about. Who do you think has higher value right now? And we're about to get to his contract. But who do you think has higher value right now? Jordan Poole, who is on a contract. Let me just say it now to give you context. And I'm just going to keep saying this other guy's name. They're both 25, 26. Jordan Poole just got paid $29.6 million. And Jordan Poole will be paid $31.8 million next season. And after that, he'll be at 30. So only 2 years left on the deal, man.
Yeah, 2-year deal, essentially.
He's owed about 60, right? 65 mil. Next season, he'll make 34. And then he's a free agent, right? And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Who I was going to bring up was my now kind of go-to. He's about to be banned by how much we're talking about him. Who's got more value right now? This guy's on a $12 million deal, about to be a free agent. Somehow, does Kobe White have more value than Jordan Poole right now?
Yes, but that's just because of the contract.
Yeah.
If Jordan Poole were making $20 million, I don't think anybody would really have a problem with Jordan Poole. It's just the inflated contract that the Warriors paid.
The punch tax.
No, it wasn't even the punch. It was the championship tax. It was we won a championship, so who cares? We're just going to pay everybody. Right. Wiggins got overpaid. Poole got overpaid.
Wiggins didn't get, sidebar, Wiggins did not get overpaid if he was going to continue to do what he did in 2022.
I can say the same thing about Jordan Poole.
You
right?
could.
If Jordan Poole was going to be the fourth best player on a team that won a championship, then it's $30 million is fine. But they paid him like a number 3. They probably shouldn't have paid him like a number 3. And now Jordan Poole gets shipped out for Chris Paul. And, you know, it was all part of the Bradley Beal trade, but essentially the Warriors just dumped him to not have to pay the contract. And the Wizards have been fine paying that contract because you have to pay somebody, right? We talked about this before with Jake LaRavia. When you're a bad team, you're okay overpaying for players because you have to hit the 90% salary floor, and you'd rather give it all to Fred VanVleet or all to Jordan Poole, who's a little bit overpaid, versus having it sprinkled to a bunch of players who are going to take up roster spots. So the only problem with Jordan Poole is the contract. There's layers to it, but it's similar to Zach LaVine. Like, no one would have a problem with Zach LaVine if he was making $30 million. No one would have a problem with Jordan Poole if he was making 15 to 20. It's just that $30 million number. Yeah, the issue with Jordan Poole, even for somebody like me that loves the pool party, is this is probably the best contract he'll get in his career. And hey, when you win a championship at 22, that's what happens. But the reality is Jordan Poole is in that same vein as Malik Monk, Jordan Clarkson, Jordan Clarkson, the guys that we bring up, right, as far the Jamal Crawfords of the world, that's who he probably should be. Yeah, like Duncan Robinson. Exactly. He should be a high-level 6-man. So you can see if maybe there's something more to that these next 2 years, because nobody is giving Jordan Poole $30 million again. And I think he probably even knows that. He's been in Washington. Nobody cares. Nobody talks about him. He's a bit forgotten at this point. He's only 25, but somehow he's still a little old for the Wizards. They're not going to build around him. I don't think he's good enough for them to build around him, and that's just the reality of it. I thought, it's weird. You let a guy, quote-unquote, cook, and they're about to do the Wizards is going to take all of the Warriors players that need runway. So, and see if one of them hits. Jordan Poole didn't work. Okay, now let's take Kuminga, give him runway, see if that works. So Jordan Poole will probably be a high-level 6-man. If you want to eat this contract, you can't start him. I don't think you can start him. You can't play him with Malik Monk. I know that's right. This would create a very interesting situation where would you rather just start Keon Ellis making less money and not as good of a player as Jordan Poole just because of fit reasons? Probably, and just see what he can become.
I want to believe that Jordan Poole still has it. A lot of people were messing, not he was going to be as good as Steph, but hey, could he be a 70% of Steph? The 70% of Steph might even be still a Hall of Famer, right? It's definitely a starting point guard and a high level scorer and player. So I think that's my issue with Jordan Poole. As much as I want to believe that he could take the next step, in my heart of hearts, when I lay my head down on the pillow in the Thomas and you gave me truth serum, do I truly think Jordan Poole can still take that next? Maybe it's a little bit of prisoner of the moment with the Wizards and being on a bad team. But my problem with Jordan Poole isn't the contract. My problem with Jordan Poole is that this will be the most we pay him, right? That shouldn't be it. If you're overpaying for someone, you should feel good about it because, it's going to match at some point because the next contract, he's not going to be overpaid because he's going to continue to get better. That's my worry with Jordan Poole. This will actually be the most he ever gets paid, which means that he was slightly overpaid.
Oh, we all know he was slightly
overpaid.
He's
not going to match. He's not ever going to match it.
Yeah, I guess I would make the point if it were just apples to apples, I would rather have Jordan Poole as that sixth man than Malik Monk, only because of, again, I haven't watched a lot of Wizards basketball, but he could point guard better.
Oh, I would too, but Malik Monk making what, 18 mil?
That's the difference. If Jordan Poole was making the Jordan Clarkson, Malik Monk, Kevin Huerter, Duncan Robinson $18 million, no one would have a problem with him. And we'll get to the trade options in a second, but it's similar to how we talk about Zach LaVine. Great player, a number 3 on a very good team, but he's getting paid like a number 1. And that's Jordan Poole right now. Very good player, could be a number 4 or a super sub on a very good team, but he's making number 2 money or high-end number 3 money.
Right. We can't talk about how it's going to be tough for a guy like DeMar DeRozan to find a spot, which we've on this show, we don't think is going to be as tough as other people may think when he's making 24 and he's a Hall of Famer and Jordan Poole's running around making 30 bill.
Exactly.
Right? That's a problem. We're going to break down the trades that Kyle has cooked up. Maybe there is a world where this makes sense. Let's break it down on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports. What is going to convince myself and the good people of Sacramento to take a chance on Jordan Poole, the pool party?
Well, we've got 3 trade options for today. One of them is the obligatory DeMar DeRozan deal. Another is the Zach LaVine salary dump option.
Okay. Which
is essentially, just to get off of LaVine's very expensive 2-year contract. And the third one we're going to get to is we're going to get a little spicy and lump in a bigger star in addition to the Jordan Poole trade.
Today's the day.
Yeah. So first of all, the DeMar DeRozan deal is not going to make the Kings better, but if the market completely dries up, this might be the best they can do for a DeMar DeRozan deal, right? Like if Miami says we're not interested, if Orlando says, or I'm sorry, not Orlando, if Detroit says we're not interested, if Toronto says we're not interested, and they just have to dump DeRozan, this is maybe the best they can do. So it would be Jordan Poole, and they get Jordan Poole, the Magic get DeMar DeRozan, and then the Wizards end up with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope again, Gary Harris, who they'll waive, not important. They get pick number 46 from the Magic, and then they would swap picks with the Kings, if that makes sense. So the Kings would go from 42 down to 57,
right? And
the Magic or the Wizards would jump up like 15 spots in the second round.
And I would officially kiss Grant Nelson goodbye.
Yes. Okay. Well, he could fall to 57,
He's not. But you know what? The one thing here, Kyle, so the easier way to kind of break it down is the Kings are giving up DeMar DeRozan and a pick swap.
And getting Jordan
Poole. Why are you just saying the Wizards would then trade? Because you said they would waive Gary Harris. Would they just trade KCP to a contender?
Or, build up his value. I mean, they did this last time, right? They got KCP from the Lakers. They built up his value, and then they traded him to Denver. So they either essentially they just get 2 second-round picks for Jordan Poole, and then they can do what they can with KCP, who is on a slightly cheaper contract that I think is the same 2 years. It's essentially just they get 2 second-round picks for Jordan Poole.
Mm-hmm. By the way, if you're just now tuning in, this is a feel-good, fun Friday. So Jordan Poole is our trade target. And, with everything going on with Tyrese, we wanted to have a little bit of a pool party. Do we think Jordan Poole is going to turn the Kings organization around? Most likely not, but also that person I don't think is on the team right now anyway. So we're having some fun with this. Kyle, as far as myself, again, if this is Allen was wrong here on the Allen Stiles Show on Sactown Sports, and DeMar DeRozan's value or DeMar DeRozan's market is just kind of cooked, right? The Rockets say, I'm good. The Spurs or whoever say, I'm good. We don't need kind of, we're not viewing him as a lesser Kevin Durant or just a scorer that we need. The Knicks, right? Teams like that, we're all good. And the Magic say, hey, we still need scoring. Yeah, I would do it. If it's dried up like this, I would do it. It wouldn't be my first choice, but I think that's what we're both agreeing on. This is not anybody's first choice.
This is not a good trade for the Kings, but this is we just have to dump DeMar DeRozan trade situation. Mm-hmm. Again, not a good trade for the Kings, but this is, you got to do what you got to do. It's also not even a second round pick either. It's just a pick swap to move down 15 spots in the draft. So you're just dumping DeMar DeRozan. Number 2, which I think is more plausible, is the Zach LaVine salary dump. We actually ran this scenario by, I think, 3 or 4 weeks ago when we were talking about, hey, if they want to just dump Zach LaVine's contracts, how can they do that? And this is one of those teams that I'd say this is the best team that has the ability to do that. So in this scenario, the Kings would send Zach LaVine, pick number 42, Grant Nelson, and one of the Charlotte second rounders. So Zach LaVine and 2 seconds go to Washington. Coming back to Sacramento is Pool Party, Marcus Smart on a 1-year expiring deal, and welcome back to Sacramento, Colby Jones.
I was with you until, I don't mind Marcus Smart. I guess it's a little redundant. I know they're not the same type of guard, but give me somebody else along with Jordan Poole, or definitely not. I can't get 3 combo guards. I'm actually just on principle. I'm not doing 3 combo guards. So cook up somebody else and I'd be into it.
Do you want me to just get rid of Colby Jones?
Just don't send him.
Yeah, we're fine. We don't need Colby Jones.
They gotta have some 6'8" somewhere.
You want JT Thor?
Sure. How old is he?
I don't know how that works, but sure.
How old is JT Thor? I'm just on principle. Let me see here. He's 22, 6'9", send him over instead of Colby Jones.
I can get you. He's not on the team technically, so we can't do that. But I can get you Anthony Gill.
How tall is he?
6'7".
Come on down. How old is he?
32.
No. Stay there. I'm sorry, Anthony. Go back.
This guy's actually too good, I think, financially, but I can get you Champagne's brother.
Okay. But how tall is he?
He's 6'6". How
old is he?
He's 23.
Come on down.
He's also pretty good. He's fine.
We got a deal.
I can try it in here. Middleton's the only other player that they could move. Oh, wait, actually, I do have a deal that would work. Okay, so it'll work. Welcome home, Rashawn Holmes.
Hey, I'm in.
Pool Party, Rashawn Holmes, and Colby Jones. Welcome home, Rashawn, which would be so annoying if Monty McNair dumped a first-round pick to move his contract, and then at the end, they still have to pay his contract.
Can I be honest, though? And I know we're having some fun with this, but couldn't you make the argument that Zach LaVine is kind of, now, I don't know how fun it would be for Zach LaVine, but isn't that kind of what the Wizards need? You're overpaying, but that's a guy. And Jordan Poole, to me, they're super similar, but Jordan Poole is 25, and Jordan Poole is still trying to get paid like Zach LaVine, and we all know it. So I just think that Zach LaVine being on the Wizards, obviously the Wizards would be overpaying, but they ain't paying nobody right now anyway. Zach LaVine isn't going to mess up their timeline or get in the way of their timeline and their growth the same way that Jordan Poole could. Am I crazy?
I think he does more for them than Jordan Poole, but that's because Zach LaVine's a better player than Jordan Poole.
Right. I mean, hey, let's turn this thing around a little bit. We're going to overpay for Zach LaVine. It's only 2 years. Then he's off the books. And by that time, hopefully, the Alex Sars of the world and the other guys that we got are close to being ready. The Bub Carringtons are ready to go a little bit.
I think it depends what they do with this pick 6. Because if they draft a combo guard who is ball dominant, maybe Zach LaVine doesn't work out that way. But you're right. The draft picks they've made so far, the Bilal Coulibaly's, the Alex Sars, the Bub Carringtons, the AJ Johnsons, like those players are not as affected by Zach LaVine's playing style. In fact, they might actually be a very good complement.
Right.
But I would wait and see what they do with pick 6 this year before making that conclusion. Because if they draft a power forward, I would say, yeah, go for it. Let's see what happens. Or if they draft a center, if they draft a 2 guard, maybe they're better off moving Poole to the bench.
All right, what's the last one?
Oh, the last one. Let's get a little spicy here. So, in this deal, we're not only going to land the Poole party, but Poole party's just a third piece that we're just throwing in here.
Wow.
The Poole party sound.
Okay.
It also sounds like something else, but it is Poole party.
Yeah, that sounds like a different type of pool party, I'm being honest.
So
that never mind.
Remember
breakfast burrito? Oh, go ahead. Chili cheese fries. Go ahead. Seriously.
Pastrami fries.
Go. Oh yes. Yes. Go ahead. Please.
So remember, I'm going to go back, take us back all the way in time 2 weeks ago. At this point, Tyrese Halliburton was still hitting game-winning shots in game 1. It was just against the Knicks. We did our LaMelo Ball trade, and that deal was, in essence, DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk, and 3 first-round picks. So we're going to just flip it up here and say Zach LaVine goes out in that deal, but they also take on Jordan Poole, who's obviously more expensive.
Okay.
So in this deal, the Kings would land the Poole party. Hold on. The Poole party and LaMelo Ball. So just all guards who can't play defense in exchange for
what? Go ahead.
Okay, Malik Monk would go to Washington in this situation. And then the Hornets would end up with Zach LaVine, the 2026 Kings first, the 2028 Kings first, and the 2030 Kings first. But I'm going to put in a fun contingency here. You know how the Kings have Charlotte's 2 seconds? That first round pick in 26 becomes 2 seconds if LaMelo Ball doesn't play more than 50 games. So it's either 3 first-round picks or 2 firsts and 2 seconds if LaMelo Ball gets hurt next season.
I do like that, but I don't know why the Wizards would only settle for Malik Monk, though.
For Jordan Poole? They'd save one. Monk has an extra year on his deal, and they're saving about $13 million.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Interesting.
So the Kings would be left with, at this point, LaMelo Ball, Jordan Poole, DeMar DeRozan, just a 3-guard lineup that can't play any defense.
You have taken this fun Friday too far.
Then Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis, Keon Ellis, Devin Carter, Jake LaRavia, Jonas Valanciunas. They would be a much better team.
They would,
but it would come at the cost of a bunch of draft picks.
And Jordan Poole has to come off the bench, and so you're paying a guy $30 million to come off the bench.
But you're also paying Keon $2 million to start.
Yeah, a couple ways to look at it. I look. If I can get both of them, I had this thing. I know we're way over time. I had this thing when I was in the Bay, and they obviously passed on LaMelo when they still had Jordan Poole. I said, hey, they could have turned the keys over to LaMelo and Jordan Poole, and there were the Splash Bros with Steph and Clay, and then they could have turned it over to the Flash Brothers.
I don't like that.
Or the Crash Brothers.
I like that better than Flash Brothers. That sounds like something completely different.
When we return, The Ringer releases a new top 100 list. Where do the Kings